You are watching Mentor English, Professor MA Raza. We have lot of other electronic channels for the betterment of society. For example, Palia TV1, Mentor English, Mentor Urdu, Mentor Turkish, Mentor uh, Arabic, and Jamia Darulum Sheikhul Islam. So must subscribe and hit the bell icon to all. Thanks, my online family. I love you all. Welcome back, everyone. Dear watchers, dear subscribers, hope you will be fine and in the high state of Iman and belief. So we are going to start a novel as a literary genre. So today the topic is that definition and origin of the novel as genre, as a literary genre. In my previous lectures, we explored few possible definitions of the term novel, both in its word sense and also in terms of literary genre. Here in this unit, we are going to explore it further specifically from literary genre point of view so that we may know it in detail before jumping into the discussion on the fundamental elements and types of the novel. In English circle, the word novel underwent a lot of changes, including from a tale or short tale to a prose narrative of considerable length and so on. The English novel was also somewhat in the form of short stories written and shared by the writers of 16th and 17th century, and it underwent a lot of changes until 18th century when it rose to a full-fledged literary genre. Now we know that it is the genre of prose fiction of an approximately book length, representing some aspects of realities of human life. Professor J. Paul Hunter, as expert of early English fiction at the University of Chicago, has contributed to the discussion on the 18th century context from which the English novel emerged and on the definition of the novel as genre of literature. He offers a very insightful and useful but very conventional definition of the novel. According to Hunter, according to Hunter, the distinctive characteristics of the novel are contemporaneity or contemporaneity. Novels are supposed to have the features of contemporaneity or contemporaneity, and these tend not be set in remote times and places. The next one is in credibility, novel have ingredients such as plot, setting, and characters which operate in believable ways. The next one is familiarity. The setting, the context, and the overall world presented in a novel is that of recognizable everyday word. Familiarity. After familiarity, the next one is rejection of traditional plots. Unlike some great writers such as Chaucer, Milton, Geoffrey Chaucer, John Milton, or Shakespeare, novel writers tend not to reuse already existing stories. They create the novel stories of their own. The next important point is that tradition free language. Novelists are supposed to avoid elevated literary dictions in favors of everyday common language. Verbosity and have diction is avoided in the novel. The next important point is individualism. Novel focus more on individual or subjectivities and innumerable form of viewing the world around. And the next important point is empathy and vicariousness. Vicariousness. Novels also invite reader to posture sympathetically and empathetically the interior and subjective life of characters. Next important point is coherence. In novels, the narrative elements is very important, which unites the whole of the story. The next important inclusiveness or disgrievedness and fragmentations. Novels close by tying up their various loose ends, and in between they may also roam around in many unpredictable ways. Self-consciousness innovation. In 18th century, this was probably one of the main traits of novelists, that they had a very strong sense that they were really doing something new. Now, from these important points, the above definitions given by Hunter is very useful for exploration of the novels included in the course, which we will study in larger detail in further units, or in my further lectures. I will produce on these units inshallah very soon. Studied this very insightful definitions together with our loose definitions given in unit 1. You will be able to comment on the novels you study and make sense of the fundamentals, elements and aspects for them. We are ending the section with a somewhat deeper understanding of the novel. We should know it that the novel is one of the modern genre of literature which was born along with the modern scientific knowledge and investigative nature of modern writers as well as readers. The word novel means something new, modern and original. If applied the sense of the term, it can be easily applied to modern science fiction such as Frankenstein or Frankenstein. Both are pronounced by Mary Shelley, written at the state of the 19th century. Another way to understand the true meaning of the term is the fiction of modern age written with unlimited freedom of creativity. How this creativity is applied to the stories in novels could be understood when we know the features and elements of the novel. The elements of novel are the topic of the next section. So, in our next section, the elements of the novel. Before going, I would like to give you some important aspect about these particular uh, definitions. You need these definition when we compare or when we criticize some important novels by some important by the key works or keynote novels by some novelists. So we need all these points in particular, theme in particular, thoughts or in particular gesture for your assignments, for your quizzes and for your regarding data for your particular assignment which is given to you by your teacher or by your professor or by your lecturer at any stage, whether you are the student of the inter with the whether you are the student of English literature at inter stage, or whether you are the student of English literature at ADA stage, or whether you are the student of English literature at BS English stage or even below, and you have a particular aspect or particular keen observation or keenness to novel as a novelist of our society. So you need all these particular parameters and all these points by Hunter to understand the verity or the keen observation or keen comparison when you are going to do it. So today I want to complete my lecture here right now. We will be right back with the next lecture inshallah. And before going, if you wanna search novel in Urdu, in particular Urdu language, you must subscribe our Urdu channel, which is for the services of Urdu literature, or the English literature, different aspects, in particular Urdu language. So the channel handle is Mentor Urdu, and the name is Murshid Urdu, Professor MA Raza. So let me go now and say with me: do something more for humanity, do something more for knowledge and practices. Have a good day. You are watching Mentor English, Professor MA Raza. We have lot of other electronic channels for the betterment of society. For example, Palia TV1, Mentor English, Mentor Urdu, Mentor Turkish, Mentor uh, Arabic, and Jame Darul Uloom Sheikhul Islam. So must subscribe and hit the bell icon to all. Thanks, my online family. I love you all.